a judge puts whatever weight on that the judge wants to. And most judges put a significant amount of weight on that.
Because, and like with your situation, the report came in due to concerns of the housing situation, which if you're not here, we can't assess that. So if you came back to that place, we would work with you there. If you came back and rented a place, stayed in a motel, whatever, we would assess that. But your report was basically on the environment that whoever made the report had concerns about where you were staying. That's what we would assess. But because you're not here with the kids, we can't assess that allegation anymore.
And Ms. Vick, we aren't blind to the fact that a lot of people are wanting to live off grid, and a lot of people are living in what they call tiny houses. And all we wanted to do was just assess the safety of where y'all were.
The space for the kids.
My understanding is y'all were essentially building you what they term a tiny house. It's just we did get off to the wrong foot, on the wrong foot. We never got anywhere. We have not gotten off the home base to work with you. So, there's not a whole lot we can say to anybody at this point. But if we can contact Oklahoma and Oklahoma can help us do our assessment, we will get it done as quickly as they are able to help us.
Okay, that's fine with me. I'm just saying.
We're going to have to cooperate this day.
Like I said, I would like for you to acknowledge the fact that of the scenario that I gave you relating to if your child was kidnapped. I was barred from my son, who I gave birth to, for 2 years. I was not able to see him. I love my son. I love my children very much, and I was barred from being able to see him. And so when this person made these allegations and then your worker started talking about her, Tracy's talking about her in the video, that's scary. It's very scary, the idea of losing him again. And he was taken right back down there. He was taken right back to her. It's scary. And I simply said, I just wanted someone who was not biased. I've talked to a worker before, and they were very nice. They didn't come to me being biased already, being rude and disrespectful from the first moment that I talked to them. I know some of you guys are very nice. Some of you guys can be very nice, and you understand the importance of your job, and you do it with that sensitivity. But Tara was not. Tracy was not. They were both very rude, very disrespectful. And I don't even think that is even how they are. I think that they were manipulated by my mother, because she has the ability to do that. They're not the only ones who she's talked to, and then they come at me. They don't even know me, but they're treating me like trash off beginning. And I know this is how narcissism works. This is what these people do, and they're very skilled at it. So I don't even blame them. I don't blame them, but I need you to understand the truth of what happened. And I simply asked for someone else. Are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But no, do you want us to contact, we can contact Oklahoma and have them, assess your situation the way you are right now.
Okay.
And try to get them to work with us getting this assessment at least going. And, but that'll give them firsthand experience on how you are. If you're safe, if the other kids are safe, because I think Mr. Vick said you had Muhammad. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did tell me the truth there. That's good. So it sounded like he said he was working with you on Muhammad because he didn't want to rip him out of your arms. Is that right?
I had to beg him to let me keep Muhammad. You definitely better believe he gets a thrill out of this, out of seeing me in a position to be in, where he has control over my life and everything. You better believe he's loving it. But
Do you have another court date or anything?
I haven't heard of the next court date yet. There has to be. There has to be one. So I'll find that out. I don't know if there's time to find out today. I tried to call the bailiff yesterday, but they didn't answer. I do still have a little bit of time to find out today about that. So yeah, but I spoke to the supervisor of the person who I'd be talking to, and she's very nice here. So I wouldn't mind talking to her.
Well, why don't you share? Do you have her name and number?
Yeah. And so she said they're waiting for you guys to send them your documentation. And
yeah, see, we hadn't communicated with anybody, so I mean, we wouldn't send documentation without any communication.
Okay.
But they can request it from us, you know, and if we can get her name and number, you know, we can worry about all that. But.
Yeah, I you know, as long as you guys are not going to try to paint me in a bad light because of the fact that I'm trying to protect my children from a kidnapper, which it worked. She did it. She was able to do what she wanted to do. She got my children. You know, I mean, I just wanted to protect my children. And for Tara to come there and already be biased, already know that I'm guilty without even stepping foot on the property, it didn't go over well relating to that.
Let me ask you this right quick. Why didn't you just let Tara do her assessment?
Because I told you she was already biased. She was talking about the kidnapper. Yeah, she was already.
So based on what she was saying.
Right. That was her attitude. Right. It was her attitude toward me. She already knew we were guilty before she even, on the phone, she knew we were guilty.
But see, she don't make all those decisions.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know that.
You wanted her to. All she had to do was walk through your place, get some information from you, and her job was to report back to a supervisor. You know, whether you like Tara or not, you know, that's not going to change the fact that she was going to do what she had to do as far as the assessment, even though she didn't talk like you wanted her to talk.
I mean, but that's on your end. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that. I don't know that she's not the person. I didn't know. I thought she was the person who was going to be handling it the entire time. And I wasn't told anything different, even when I called Bunny to say, can I get someone else? And she said no. You know? I don't have that information. I'm just a mom. I don't know what you guys have, how your thing works.
Yeah.
All I know is that if someone calls a family from your organization, it's a nightmare, like from jump. I think you guys already know that. It's terror, like, because you're trying to protect your children. You don't know what's wrong. You don't know if like everything is correct or perfect or what you guys are looking for. You don't know. There's a lot of you know, there's a lot of like a gray area, or you don't, like a family doesn't know you guys. And through this situation, I've learned a whole lot about your organization. But at that time, I didn't know, and I wasn't thinking about it.
It's scary for DSS to come here.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Like, it's the worst thing ever. This is my worst nightmare. I want to tell you, this is my worst nightmare, and I only appreciate the fact that I can be faced with it, that I can be presented with the opportunity to face my fears, because it really is. But the bad part is my children are still gone. You know, so that's kind of where we are now. You know, but it really is. I'm still looking for her number. I'm still looking. I had it written down, and I know it's here. I might have written it somewhere else. Give me one sec.
Is Corey and Mr. Hunter still with you, Ms. Vick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So is Mr. Hunter going to be willing to work with Oklahoma for us too, so we can close his case?
I'm pretty sure he is. But
okay.
I'm not in his presence at the exact moment, so I can't speak for him. But I do have persuasive. I have the ability to persuade him. So.
Yeah, we can talk to him. Does he have a separate number?
No, we have the same number.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get him to call you right back after we hang up, and just let him know what you guys are wanting, and kind of lay it on there before he calls you, and then
Yeah, and tell him we understand, all the concerns, because you told us all the concerns y'all have. Basically, just to speed the process up, all we're going to try to, if he would we just want to let him know that, about the assessment. We're going to try to get Oklahoma to help us with the assessment and ensure safety. We're not trying to get anybody to take anybody's kids.
Okay.
We just want to do the assessment, ensure safety. That's the whole thing.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I'll tell him. All right. So here's the supervisor. It's Lori Morris, and her cell phone is. Oh no, that's not right. I apologize. That's someone else. She is Amanda Mawson. It's
What's that last name?
Mossen, I believe.
Okay.
And her phone number is 405-200-7281.
Okay.
And I just spoke with her earlier. She's the one who told me they were waiting for documents from you guys. I kind of went over the situation with her, so she's aware.
Does Ms. Mawson have your your physical address and all that, so that they can make home visits with you to see Muhammad and them? Does she know your location and where she's at?
Not as of yet, because we're staying in hotels. And we just, like I said, our tires got slashed yesterday, so we had to move hotels. And so I don't even actually know where we're staying tonight, because we just canceled this reservation because it wasn't the right room. So I have to, after I get off the phone, I have to book a different room, and we're gonna go to a different hotel, and then I'll be able to know.
Yeah, well, make sure you keep up with her, because if they need to make a home visit or just to check you out, I mean, it's appropriate to stay in a hotel. I mean, it's as long as you got access to food and water, and you have a roof over your head. There's nothing wrong with staying in it, just as long as it's a safe place for you and the kids. So don't freak out if you're staying there and you don't want them to check it out. As long as it's safe and appropriate, then there's nothing saying you can't live that way temporarily. So just make sure that if she calls you or another worker out there calls you, that you provide that information of where you're at to them. That way they can come make a visit with you. Okay.
Okay, and so Amanda is the supervisor.
Okay.
The worker who's actually on it is Alicia Shaughnessy.
Do you want to spell that?
It's SHOCKENCY.
Okay. Does she have a different number?
Yeah. Her number is 405
Uh-huh.
249 7237. I haven't been able to get in contact with her yet. Her supervisor said that she's busy. I kind of reached out to the supervisor because I know that she's talked to Elijah, and I know how he has this ability to sway someone's opinion of me before I talk to them. So I wanted to talk to someone who kind of had a fresh, but I'm planning on talking to her today. But I got her email address from the supervisor, and she said that you guys would want to send the things to Alicia's email. And I went ahead and got the email so we could speed up the process.
Okay.
It's ALICIA dot her last name SHOCKENCY at okdhs.org.
OKDHS?
Right, .org.
.org. Okay. And we'll contact her ahead of time to make sure that, that we're spelling it right. Not that we don't want to send it if it's the wrong address. We'll call her to make sure that that's straight. And if we can't get a hold of her, we'll obviously call her supervisor. So.
Right. Okay.
CKENCY. Okay. ENCY. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll contact them and try to work together, hopefully.
Yeah. Anything you can say to them to sway my children being returned to me, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just wanted you to understand. I mean, I'm not on Mr. Vick's side or your side or anybody's side. We're just trying to get this assessment done, and just just say what we've done, and just try to get it done. I mean,
assessing the safety of the kids.
Yeah,
everything else going on is between you and him. So
yeah, I mean, as long as the kids are taken care of, that's all we're concerned with, or we're trying to be. And that's what we're going to try to assess. We want them to go to his house, make sure they're safe. If you've got them, we want somebody to go to your house. That's basically it. And then when we ensure the safety, get the information we need, we can make a case decision saying that there's either no problems or there are problems.
Yeah, I just wish the kids would have been returned to me. I mean, because this is now, it's a lot. It's very expensive,
Yeah.
And now, from what you're saying, it doesn't sound like, the idea of us just being able to return to our lives of healing from this drama and trauma is even, I don't know. I mean,
well, it sounds like it's in court down that way. It's kind of, if it is, it's kind of in that court's hands to say where the children go. Either they're going to give each y'all certain days to visit,
Whether it's joint custody
or who's got joint or
yeah.
primary custody, and it's a custody situation.
No, we just want to be able to report to Oklahoma so that they can report to the court that that we've asked them to assess each home is appropriate, it's safe, and then you all present your evidence like you did up here presenting your evidence. You would do the same down there and state your case, and I'm sure Dad will do his, and then it'll kind of be up to them since that's where you guys are primarily at right now. So there's not much in North Carolina we can do because you're not back here. So all we can do is document what was done back here and what we observed back here, because we haven't really had any involvement with you since you left. So that's all we can really do. So the rest of it's really up to Oklahoma and the situation that you guys are in down in Oklahoma. So that's why I said it's super important that you keep up with your Oklahoma worker. If we call you about anything, I know you're busy, just try to return our phone calls, as soon as you can. That way if we're trying to get up with you about something, but really maintain contact with Oklahoma, because they're going to be the ones we're going to have to ask to do these extra little things that we would normally be doing for you, but we can't because you're not with us. So just keep up with them. And, if you move, if you leave, change addresses, change phone numbers, you got to update them with that information, okay?
I hear you. I just want you to understand my truth in that the children should not have been taken in the way that they were, this verbal hold and all that based off of, that should not have happened. And now we're here based off of, like I said, our rights being violated. So I need you to understand that from my perspective, it's still on you guys, because there was a lot that was done wrong, and now we're here, I just want you to understand that's my perspective.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Like I said, just keep up with Oklahoma and just make sure you let them know where you're at, okay, so that you don't lose any time for them trying to find you, okay?
Yeah, no, I want this to be over with as soon as possible. I need you to understand. I know you guys have this idea that I'm uncooperative, but no, it's not about that. It's about my children, first and foremost, and 100%.
Okay, well, we'll be in touch. We'll get in touch with Oklahoma and try to get everything done.
Okay.
But as far as the custody goes, it's going to be between you and Mr. Vick and the court.
I hear what you're saying, but the judge told me that it was up to you guys for some reason.
Yeah, I really don't understand why that. But like I said, I'll communicate with the DSS or whatever it's called down there, and just we'll do what we can to communicate. But we don't decide custody whatsoever. You've seen that in court. That's up to the judge.
Especially since custody was returned to you, we don't have any part in that at this point. So that kind of took the responsibility, I guess, from custody standpoint from us, since that was dissolved and returned to you guys. So
yeah, I mean,
just report what's
dissolved and
if the
returned.
court wanted to call
right.
us and get an opinion, they're always welcome to do that, but we're not going to give an opinion. We're just going to give what we've done and what we know. Because I don't know you and I don't know Mr. Dick that well, so we're not going to give an opinion. We can only give what we've been trying to do and what's happened.
I just want you to say that the order was dissolved and the kids were not returned to me. The
order was resolved, and we didn't get a chance to return kids anywhere because we can't transport kids for one thing if we don't have custody. But
custody was returned to the parents.
Yeah, and Mr. Vick made it down to Miss Lee's before before anything could be done. And there was nothing we could do about that, being that the custody was dissolved from DSS. Our plan was, like you said, we was going to facilitate this, but he got the children before we could facilitate
Right,
anything.
yeah. If you just let them know that when you were facilitating it, it would be to return the children to me, but that didn't get to happen.
And we asked Miss Lee, did we need to facilitate her giving the children to you? And she said, and she didn't need us to do that.
Oh.
Right?
No, I don't know. From what I know, she said she didn't want me down there. So you guys were supposed to pick up the kids and meet me somewhere. But Elijah was able to get in between that.
We wouldn't have never said that because we can't pick up the kids if we don't have custody.
Well, someone said something about getting permission to pick the kids up. But Elijah was in between that. So I don't know if that part's on the recording. It may be, but I think it actually is. I'm going to check. But Elijah kind of got in between that. So, yeah, I mean, even if they know, if you were to facilitate it, you would have been returning the kids to me, you know?
Well, we could have talked to Miss Lee. If Miss Lee, had a problem with you going there, we could facilitate, Miss Lee, can we meet at Food Line?
Right, that's what, from what I remember, that's what it was. She didn't want me down there, so you guys called to see if you could pick the kids up and meet somewhere, but...
Yeah, she didn't say she had a problem with you going there.
Right, I'm gonna check, because from what I remember on the phone call, that's what was said, but I'm gonna check the recording and see if it's actually on the recording.
Yeah, but at that point, we didn't have a problem with you going to get the children because the custody was resolved. We just wanted to get the assessment done.
Right, but they said, no, someone said she didn't want me down there, so you guys asked permission.
I haven't heard, she didn't ever tell me that.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's what I remember. She didn't want me down there, so someone asked permission for you guys to pick the kids up to meet us somewhere, and we're trying to figure out where to meet, but Elijah got in between.
Yeah, she told me she didn't have a problem with you or the dad coming there.
That's not what happened. But I'm, it's just kind of my word against yours. So I'm gonna check the recording and see if it's on there.
And like I said, I'm not just trying to be right. I'm just telling you what I thought when I talked to Miss Lee. That was my conversation with her. I'm not trying to, make anything up. That's what happened.
Right. Yeah. I mean.
Somebody could have said that.
Somebody could have said, I'm not talking for everybody. I'm just talking about me.
Right.
Because she told me she didn't have a problem with either. She said Mr. Vick always provided for you guys, and she didn't have a problem with him.
Right. She would say that because she hates me, but
but she didn't tell me you wasn't allowed there to get the children. She said she was fine with that.
Right. I mean, like I said, I know what was said. So right now it's just my word against yours. So we don't need to argue. I'm just going to check and see if it, if it's on there. But either way, yeah, the truth is you would have been, had that been the case, you would have been, facilitating returning the kids to me. Right.
Yeah, we could have did that. But like I say, once we found out Mr. Vick, there's nothing we could have done at that point. I
understand that. I'm just saying, the reality of what's supposed to happen. I understand you don't have the power to restrain him from getting them. I know that. I understand that. I'm just saying what was supposed to happen. So.
But we was trying to respect Mr. Vick's wish. He said give y'all time to talk, and that's what we did. And by the time it was done and said, he done went down there and got the children.
Yeah. Yep. I know he can be very manipulative. Like I said, I don't blame you guys for that manipulation that occurred, and even with my mother, like I said, they have the same thing going on. Unfortunately for me, I have two of these people in my life, and it makes it very hard. But no contact is what I've learned is the answer, and so I'm continuing to seek or find that.
The best thing to do is try to get something done in court, so there's no back and forth, really. I know it's expensive to pay lawyers and all this, unless you can represent yourself, of course. But, if you could get a custody order,
black and white makes it a lot easier.
You can always give that to police, when somebody comes out and say, look,
Yeah.
I've got custody.
Yeah, I went to the domestic violence place yesterday, and they have lots of resources.
Yeah.
So I can get a protective order. I was supposed to go there this morning, but I'm gonna get a protective order, and then, she said, I need to create a paper trail that
Yeah.
basically
Okay.
proves everything. So I got that understanding.
And two, with Oklahoma, I mean, I'm not speaking for them, but I don't know, like with different agencies, like they should be able to help you with other resources. So that's another reason to really keep in good contact with them. They can help you with additional resources that you may need while you guys are there. So just keep up with them, and we'll share as much information from them as we can to help you guys along. So.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Miss Ed?
Not that I know of. I'll call you back if I text you or something.
All right.
All right, we'll take care. We'll talk with you soon, okay?
All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye.